With me in the studio today is Peter Wein, the owner and CEO of WEI Network, an internet radio station and TV and entertainment show. Thank you, Peter, for coming in and joining us in the studio.
Well, I thank you.
Before we get started, I'd like to just explain to the audience exactly what internet radio is and what it does and why people want to know about it.
Okay, well, internet radio, it's radio. Basically, it could be the same as terrestrial AM, FM radio. The only difference is instead of having a tower to transmit, you're using the power of the internet. An advantage to it is it's global. So not only do the people local to the area where we broadcast out of, that they can listen to, we've got listeners in about 65 different countries that tune in regularly to listen to shows depending on the topic.
And tell us a little bit about the shows that you offer on WEI.
Well, we offer a whole range. We have everything from health-related shows where we talk about eating healthy and living healthy lifestyles. We have a few different types of magazine shows which will talk about events and concerts and celebrity news. Your typical morning show, which sometimes is a little absurd and there to pick you up and make you laugh. We have a couple of different political point of views. I believe in free speech. So although some people say, gee, why don't you call it the yin-yang network? Because actually I have somebody who leans to the right and somebody who leans to the left. I believe, put it out there, let people...
So you're fair and balanced.
Exactly. Keep it balanced. Keep it balanced. So daytime's pretty much talk radio. Our evening shows tend to go toward entertainment. So again, there's some magazine shows. My show in particular, which is Peter's Living Room, I get a lot of performers, local, national. Hopefully they're in town, they come into the studio, where they'll come in and we'll sit and talk, and hopefully we'll get them to perform live in the studio. And the Tribune newspapers, I guess it was about 4 years ago, actually tagged me as the Ed Sullivan of internet radio because I do more of a mix of a variety type talk show.
So it's really a station that anybody can tune in and find something that interests them.
There is something for just about everybody. In fact, we have some teenagers that are doing a show that really address the teen market, talking about, it's kind of like hanging out in the court, with friends. They talk about cliques and friends and what are they doing on the weekend in fashion, and they actually get people from like 211 in talking about bullying. So they talk about civil and important issues that face teenagers,
So your station and your company is called WEI Network.
Yes.
What's the history behind that name?
Well, actually that's a pretty cute little story. When I was creating the station, it was like, I need to come up with a proper name. Needless to say, it's radio. I'm east of the Mississippi, so I wanted it to start with a W. And I kept saying, what do I want this to be? I said, well, I really want this to be the World Entertainment and Information Network. That's what I want to be known for. And I wrote it down and I said, well, gee, that's W-E-I-N. This is like a sign from up above. And needless to say, that's it. It's the World Entertainment and Information Network, but it's the WEI Network.
Internet radio and internet programming is still a pretty progressive thing going on and developing. How did you get into it to begin with?
Well, I was doing marketing for a bunch of companies, and I met somebody who at that point claimed he had an internet radio station. Did some research and found that it's the future. The internet for media and broadcasting, just like information and schools and everything else, is taking over. And I met with this gentleman really to get discounts in advertising for the businesses I was helping promote and market, and said, gee, if I did my own show, I could, nice little perk, to get more businesses. It was definitely a business decision. And I went and started, and even though my first show was going to be business and community, I had a friend of mine, a Nashville recording artist, come on. And the response was overwhelming. So instead of deciding not to do the business and community, which I have a passion for, I took extra time, so I did a daytime show, which I deal with organizations and health-related, environmental, some religious organizations, like I do a lot with Jewish Family Services and other organizations, and I kept the nighttime for entertainment. So it was kind of like the work show and the fun show.
And doing internet radio as a business, how do you get feedback? How do you know what the listeners like, don't like, where they are? How does all that work?
There's a lot of marketing. It's pretty much 24/7. You know, thank goodness for the likes of Facebook and Twitter, and there's about 200 of these social networks out there, some specializing in certain genres. So there's a lot of viral marketing, a lot of internet marketing, and I'm out in the community a lot. So I utilize that for name recognition. But the bottom line on it is somebody will come to the site to listen to a show. If the quality is there and the content of the show is there, they're going to come back. If it's not, they're not going to come back.
So you feel you're in a growing field. This is the time, the sky is the limit.
Without a doubt, it's definitely a growing industry, an emerging industry. When I first started, it was commonplace for somebody to say, internet radio, what's that? Today, it's like, oh, I listen to internet radio. What's your website?
Yeah, let me just ask you before we close out, just to give our audience, how many people really are involved in internet radio? Or how many people are listening? The demographics?
There are, worldwide, there are about 17,000 internet radio stations. Most of them are blog radio, where somebody will open up their computer. Like I had said before, I wanted to create this as a radio station. I track my listeners, the same way a business would track visitors to a website, but I also use a broadcasting hub. And I actually pay that broadcasting hub for a lot of different marketing services. So I know how many people are coming through them. And when a show is on, I know pretty much to the 100 how many people are listening in real time. And then the next day from that hub, I will get a report letting me know how many unique visitors, how many people have logged in the previous day. So I actually get more exact numbers than terrestrial radio.
Yeah, I want to thank you for sharing these insights and encourage our audience who may not have yet had the great experience of finding out about internet radio to check out WEInetwork.com and be a part of this great way that people are able to communicate and be entertained.
Peter, thank you. I thank you
Thanks
for having
being
me
here. Thank you.
That's it for this edition. Don't forget to visit our Facebook page for all the latest news about our program. I'm Lee Lazarson. Thanks for joining us on To Life L'Chaim.